Hello, lovely friends. Welcome to another video. Today, let's chat about how to know what foods are bad for you. And I use quotations because everything is really in comparison to something else. So let's chat about different kinds of foods that you can eat in this video. Thank you so very much for joining me today. I'm sending big virtual hugs. Thank you. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something. Just so you guys know, I have 5 recipe books currently, over 300 awesome raw vegan recipes. So whether you're fully raw, high raw, vegan, or not, you can always add more fruits and vegetables to your life, some awesome, delicious salads. All of the links are available right here. This is ebook versions, and the print versions are available in the description box below via Amazon. So let's chat about what we feel is good or bad food. So I had a question today on my Instagram, and somebody asked, how do you know if food is bad for you or not? So this is kind of a loaded question because it really depends on the individual and what they believe. Now, I could tell you what foods that I don't want to be eating in my life and what I know that my body doesn't need, but it could be different for other people based off of their beliefs. Now, scientifically, it can be argued what's good, what's bad. We all know, however, what is good food. We all know that fresh fruit and vegetables, spices, legumes, sprouts, anything that's alive, that's living, is good food, and we know this. So we don't have to worry about what should we eat. We know what we should be eating. We need to be eating a lot of hydrating raw plant foods. We need to be eating a lot of high fiber foods to help pull toxins out of our body and feed our good bacteria, which is about 70% of our immune system. So we know what we need to be eating. We do. We don't have to go hunting down for all of these things, but we do need to learn what we need to eat. So personally, this is just my opinion. I believe that we should be eating high raw or all raw, depending on your goals, your personal desires. But high raw or all raw, low fat, meaning 5 to 20% of your daily calories coming from fats, nuts, seeds, whole fats, not oils, and some spices, herbs, sprouts, whatever is alive and living that is full of hydration, fiber, and phytonutrients. So plant foods, basically. So what about bad foods? I personally won't be ever consuming animal products as long as I live. It's not going to be part of my life, and it doesn't matter. If I experience any issues later on down the road, I will try my best to figure it out within veganism. Animal products are off the menu for the rest of my life. It's never going to be part of my life. So everyone's going to have different opinions on that. And as a vegan, I believe that animals have the right to live their own lives and we should not be exploiting them. As a female, I can't get on board with the exploitation of the dairy industry or the eggs. And the bees make their honey. And again, people are going to argue me on this point, but I, as a vegan, these are foods that I choose not to put into my body because they don't belong to me. They're part of another species, and that's their thing. So for one, I won't be eating animal products ever. Number 2, I don't think that oils are a good source of fats, and I don't eat oils. I think that oils are the equivalent of processed sugar in the fat realm. So you're taking a whole fat and you're pressing it so that you just get the oil. And the oil is 100% fat, and excess fats can destabilize your insulin. So you get insulin resistant, which can eventually lead to diabetes. It leads to weight gain and cravings and tiredness and all kinds of different symptoms in the body when you're eating too high fat. So oils are definitely not part of my diet. And I also don't consume any processed foods. But these are things that we know we shouldn't be eating. We know we shouldn't be eating processed foods. It's not like I need to tell you what not to eat. You already know. You already know what you shouldn't be eating or what doesn't serve your body. You know what you should be eating, and we should just be eating more of that in abundance. And learning about that food is very important too, like grabbing chronometer and for a couple of weeks or months, track your calories and learn the food that's going into your body. It's so important to learn about what we're eating and the nutrition that it's providing us, and making sure that we get enough variety and hydration and vitamins and minerals and all that good stuff. So learning that we already know what is bad food and we already know what is good food. The gray area is when people have triggers. So that's pretty much the main part of this video that I wanted to address, is the gray area, because for some people, cooked potatoes are fine. They can eat the cooked potatoes and a big raw salad and they're totally cool with it. Then there's another group of people who have issues with food addictions, where I fall. I'm in that group. So I know for my body, I know that potatoes are extremely addictive, and that's pretty much all I would want to eat if I started eating them again. And I know this, I mean, I've lived 34 years experimenting with different foods. I know what I'm addicted to. I know what foods will bring in other foods. For example, if I started eating just a boiled potato in a salad, eventually it would be 2, maybe 3, and then maybe I'd be roasting veggies, and then, you know, like, I'm not saying that any of this is bad, but eventually I fall into eating junk food and French fries, and then a burger's okay here and there, and then the word moderation comes into my life, and there's no such thing as perfect moderation. It doesn't exist, because what's moderate for me might not be moderate for you, and might not be moderate for Susan or Joe. We don't know what perfect moderation means because it's subjective. It's based off what you believe or what you want or your desires. And we use the word moderation to justify eating things we already know we should be eating. If you're going to use the word moderation, you really have to ask yourself, should I be eating that? If I have to use the word moderation to justify eating that thing, is that actually good for me? Is that food that I should be putting in my body? Because like I said, we all know what's bad and what's good. You just have to sit back and listen, and actually be open to listening to the body, not the desires of taste, convenience, and culture, and appeasing your friends and all of that. Not listening to any of that, but actually listening to the body. If you have a rock in your stomach when you eat cooked food, then maybe a salad would be a better choice. If you feel super hydrated when you're eating raw foods and you feel awesome and you have lots of energy, then maybe that's what's good for you. So really, you have to listen to the body, but remember to always make sure that you eat enough, because if you're not eating enough, then you're going to fall into other issues where you feel like you need to eat these other foods that don't necessarily serve you. And if you're not eating enough fresh raw foods, then that can cause issues later on down the road. So make sure that you eat enough, and always focus on those positive foods that you know are good for you, because you know you're smart, you're intelligent, you know what's good for you, and you know your levels, you know what foods trigger you to want to eat only that. You know what foods are like gateway foods, which open the floodgates to all kinds of other stuff coming into your diet. You just have to practice abstinence with those foods. And I know a lot of people feel that the word abstinence can be kind of restrictive, but it's actually very freeing, because we don't realize that the freedom comes when we say no. When we say no to those foods that we know already aren't good for us. So you know what those foods are, and if you need to, practice abstinence, and practice it with the intention of eating the proper foods for your body, the foods that make you feel amazing, and the foods that make you feel hydrated and healthy and happy. Happiness is key. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please click like, subscribe to my channel to get notifications for more. Again, you can find awesome raw vegan recipes. These are the ebooks. The link right here is for the ebooks, and the print version's available in the description box below. You can find me over on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Raw Food Romance. On Facebook, you can find me at Lissa's Raw Food Romance, and over on Snapchat, Lissa Raw Vegan. So until next video, guys, listen to that beautiful gift that you've been given to live in on this earth, and fruit on.